Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English with Podcasts, where we tackle the world's biggest topics to help you speak with absolute authority. I am Emma.
And I am Leo. Emma, I want to start with a question for our listeners. Have you ever been in a room where the atmosphere suddenly shifts? One moment, everyone is laughing, and the next, someone mentions a single name or a new law, and the air becomes thick with tension. People start leaning in, voices get lower or louder, and suddenly, you realize you are standing in the middle of a minefield.
That is a perfect description, Leo. We're talking about the one topic that can start a revolution or end a dinner party: politics. It is the invisible force that shapes our schools, our jobs, and our very freedom. Yet, for many English learners, it is the most terrifying topic to discuss. You want to share your opinion, but you are afraid of using the wrong word and causing a diplomatic incident.
Exactly. The fear of being misunderstood in a political debate is real. But politics is everywhere, in the news, at the office, and on social media. Avoiding it means missing out on the most important conversations of the 2026 election cycle. That is why today, we are giving you the Diplomatic Toolkit.
We are going from basic to advanced English, teaching you how to discuss government, elections, and social issues with neutrality, respect, and high-level vocabulary. We're moving you from "I don't like that leader" to "I have concerns regarding their foreign policy platform."
If you're ready to stop being a silent observer and start being an active participant in global discussions, hit that like button right now.
And please subscribe to English with Podcasts. We are your allies in the journey toward fluency. Share this with a friend who loves the news. They will thank you for the language upgrade. Let's start with the foundations of governance. To talk politics, you first need to understand the players and the field.
The government runs the country. Basic. The president or prime minister is the leader. People vote in the election. There are different political parties.
That is a good start, but let's add some nuance. In English, we often talk about the political spectrum. Left wing generally supports social equality and government intervention. Right wing generally supports individual liberty and free markets. Centrist, someone who holds moderate views in the middle.
Moderate is a great word for intermediate learners. It means not extreme. If you're a moderate, you seek a common ground.
Now, let's talk about the process of power. How do people actually get into office? This is the campaign trail.
Candidates go on a campaign. They make promises to the voters. They participate in debates.
Leveling up to advanced, the candidates are canvassing for votes, going door to door. They are trying to win over swing voters, people who haven't decided yet. The election was a landslide victory. One side won by a huge amount. There is a lot of political polarization in the country right now.
Polarization is a key term in 2026. It means the two sides are very far apart and cannot agree on anything. It's like the North Pole and the South Pole, total opposites.
Let's look at policy and legislation. This is where politics affects your daily life. The government made a new law, basic. The bill was passed in Parliament or Congress. They are changing the tax system.
Let's use advanced policy speak. The government is introducing a new initiative to combat climate change. There is a heated debate over healthcare reform. The legislation aims to provide more funding for education. Critics say the new regulations are too strict.
Legislation is the formal word for a law or a set of laws, and initiative is a much more positive, active word than just plan.
Emma, we have to talk about the language of diplomacy. Politics isn't just about what you say, it's about how you say it. If you want to disagree without being rude, you need softening language.
This is vital. Instead of saying "you are wrong," which ends the conversation, try "I see your point, but I respectfully disagree." Or, "That's an interesting perspective. However, I have some reservations." Or, "I'm not sure I subscribe to that ideology."
Ideology is an advanced word for a system of ideas and ideals, and saying I have some reservations is a very polite way, a diplomatic way, to say you have doubts.
Let's dive into social issues. These are often the most hot-button topics. A hot-button topic is something that people have very strong emotional opinions about. Economic inequality, the gap between the rich and the poor, environmental protection, saving the planet, civil rights, equal treatment for everyone.
To discuss these at an advanced level, use words like systemic, something that is part of the whole system, not just an individual case. Sustainability, the ability to maintain something over time, usually the environment. Advocacy, public support for a particular cause or policy. Grassroots, a movement that starts with ordinary people, not the leaders.
Grassroots is such a powerful image. It starts at the roots, the people, and grows upward to change the government.
What about international relations? This is global politics. Countries have allies, friends. Sometimes there are sanctions on a country. Leaders attend summits, important meetings.
Advanced international English. The two nations are seeking a diplomatic resolution to the conflict. They are negotiating a bilateral trade agreement. The geopolitical landscape is shifting rapidly. There is a focus on humanitarian aid in the region.
Geopolitical sounds very impressive in a conversation. It refers to how geography and politics affect international relations.
Let's talk about the media's role in politics. We hear these terms all the time. Fake news, misinformation, biased, favoring one side over another, fact-checking, verifying if something is true.
Leveling up, the media can sometimes be an echo chamber where you only hear opinions you already agree with. We need to look out for propaganda. There is a lack of transparency in the government. The story was sensationalized to get more clicks.
Transparency is an essential word for a healthy democracy. It means the government is open and honest about what it is doing.
Emma, I think we should explore economic politics. This is where the money meets the power. The budget, how the government spends money. The deficit, when the government spends more than it earns. Inflation, when prices go up and the value of money goes down.
Advanced economic English. The central bank is implementing austerity measures, cutting spending to reduce debt. The government is focusing on fiscal responsibility. There is a debate over progressive taxation versus flat taxes. The country is facing a recession.
Austerity is a tough word. It usually means the government is cutting back on public services. Fiscal is just a fancy way of saying relating to government money.
Let's discuss the checks and balances. In many countries, power is divided so no one becomes a dictator.
The legislative branch makes laws. The executive branch carries out laws. The judicial branch interprets laws.
Advanced balance vocabulary. We must protect the separation of powers. The court issued a landmark ruling, a very important legal decision. The leader was threatened with impeachment, being removed from office for a crime. We need to ensure accountability at every level.
Accountability is one of my favorite words. It means people must take responsibility for their actions. Without accountability, politics becomes chaotic.
Let's look at a practical scenario. You are at a coffee shop, and a friend says the economy is doing terribly because of the current leadership. How do you respond using our toolkit?
Basic. Yes, I agree, everything is expensive. Intermediate. I think it's more complicated. There are many factors affecting the economy right now. Advanced. While I understand your frustration, I think we have to consider the global economic climate. It's not just a domestic issue, it's a multifaceted problem involving supply chain disruptions and inflationary pressures. I'd be interested to see what fiscal policies the opposition proposes to address this.
Let's talk about political participation. It's not just about voting. Protesting, gathering to show disapproval, lobbying, trying to influence politicians, running for office, trying to get elected yourself, petitioning, collecting signatures to change a law.
Lobbying is a word we hear a lot in the US and UK. Special interest groups lobby the government to make laws that help them.
Emma, what about political rhetoric? This is the art of persuasion. A speech, talking to a crowd, a slogan, a short, catchy phrase like, make change now. Partisan, strongly supporting only one party.
Advanced rhetoric. The leader's populist appeal is growing, appealing to ordinary people. The speech was full of incendiary language, words that start trouble or anger. We need to avoid demagoguery, leaders who use prejudice and false promises. The candidate used a diplomatic tone during the summit.
Incendiary comes from the word for fire, so incendiary language is fire-starting language. Let's talk about human rights. This is a global political topic. Freedom of speech, the right to say what you want, due process, fair treatment through the legal system, universal suffrage, the right for everyone to vote.
Advanced rights vocabulary. We must protect the sovereignty of every nation, the right to rule themselves. There are reports of human rights violations. The government is being criticized for suppressing dissent, stopping people from disagreeing. We are fighting for social justice and equity.
Sovereignty is a big word in international politics. It's all about a country's independence.
Let's do a master recap of our diplomatic toolkit. The basics: vote, election, government, political party. The spectrum: left-wing, right-wing, moderate, centrist. The campaign: canvassing, swing voters, landslide, polarized. The policy: legislation, initiative, reform, regulations, fiscal policy. The diplomacy: respectfully disagree, reservations, ideology, common ground. The issues: systemic, sustainability, grassroots, geopolitical, sovereignty. The media: echo chamber, transparency, biased, sensationalized. The power: checks and balances, accountability, separation of powers.
That is a lot of power vocabulary. But here's a tip. When talking about politics in English, listen more than you speak at first. Notice the tone of the room.
Exactly. Politics is about context. In some cultures, it's fine to argue loudly. In others, it's better to be very subtle.
And remember, you don't need to be an expert to have an opinion. You just need the tools to express that opinion clearly and politely.
Speaking of opinions, we have an interactive prompt for our community. In the comments, describe one political or social issue you care about using 3 new words from this episode.
Are you interested in environmental sustainability? Are you worried about political polarization? Or are you a supporter of grassroots initiatives? We want to hear from you.
Reading your comments helps us understand the global political pulse. Our listeners come from every corner of the world, and that is what makes this community so special.
If you found this diplomatic toolkit helpful, please share this episode. Politics affects everyone, so everyone should have the language to talk about it.
Also, a quick tip for practice: try reading a news article from a different country every day. It will expose you to different political frameworks and help you see the big picture.
Big picture is a great idiom. It means looking at the whole situation, not just the small details.
We are so proud of you for tackling such a difficult topic today. Moving from basic English to discussing geopolitics and legislation is a massive level up.
It really is. You aren't just learning a language, you're learning how to engage with the world.
We'll be back next week to explore more of the minefields and masterclasses of the English language.
Until then, stay informed, stay curious, and keep practicing your diplomatic skills.
This was Emma and Leo. Thank you for listening to English with Podcasts.
Keep vibing and keep leading.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.